Today we are looking at a 1.5 million elf run in Chapter 1 of the Mines of Moria raid. First, I want to take a moment to thank my first 125 subscribers. I'm really enjoying bringing this content to all of you, and I'm trying to get better with each video. I've got big plans for new videos in the future. So far, I've been doing mostly scripted raid strategy videos, but I'd like to hear from you about whether you're interested in more off-the-cuff content like swag, teacher, Veiled Shot, and AP Gains produce. I really like their content, and I think it would be fun to do live streams, roster reviews, kit reveals, and offer reviews on this channel as well. Let me know what you want to see next. With that out of the way, let's review the squad. Big shout out to Fredo, one of my guildmates in Sigma Immortals, for sharing this footage. Fredo used a 5-star G9 Rumil, and my understanding is he is key to the fight. The big draw of using Rumil is that his special one, Swift Strikes, will grant defensive to all squad members. Defensive is a boon that allows a character to block the next hit. This special ability synergizes with Rumil's passive, which grants regeneration to any dwarf or elf who blocks an attack. And as an added bonus, Rumil can cleanse with this special too. Overall, he's just a very good supporting actor who helps prevent Skullcrusher's AoE slow from sticking. The rest of this squad is the standard Rivendell lineup, and Fredo has pretty much every ability maxed out. It also helps that he's got Elrond, Elrohir, and Elladan at G10, with Arwen at G9. On difficulty 4, the orcs will be preloaded with full turn meter. The turn order will be Shadowseer, Mangler, Firestarter, Skullcrusher, Bomber, and then Drummer. In this run, the worst possible opener occurred, where Mangler inflicted bleed, Firestarter inflicted burn, and Skullcrusher's AoE slow hit everyone. You need to make sure that you get the Bomber to go off, so you only have room for maybe one character to use a non-attacking ability. In this case, Fredo chose to provoke with Elladan. The opener here is pretty standard for anyone who was able to get 900k on Chapter 1. Notice that he chose to use Arwen's Cleanse to get some regen going and put immunity on Elrond. This is a great play because Elladan was able to clean up the Skullcrusher the next turn. One interesting choice was healing rather than using the AoE to try and get everyone's HP lower for a cleaner bomb clear. I'm sure some of you would opted for the AoE because that's the general advice, but knowing that an orc would be called into the Skullcrusher spot, opting to heal helped stabilize the run. Going into the next wave, he got 4 relatively healthy squad members. Rumil just granted defensive to everyone, and even if he does lose Elladan, Elrond's revive will be available the next turn. In this case, he was actually able to go ahead and heal Elladan back above 50% before the next wave hit. Notice that he had Elladan provoke right before the second wave pop, preloading Arwen and Rumil with Deadly, which is a smart choice when you run the risk of a Skullcrusher appearing. Luckily, he had 2 bombers appear with no War Guards to work around and no Skullcrushers. He really hit the RNG lottery here. And speaking to Fredo about the strategy, it sounded like a big part of getting 1.5 million is having these 2 bomber setups where you can quickly take out an entire wave. Here's another situation where he had Elrond's AoE up, but likely saw that Elladan's turn meter was higher than the Shadowseer, and Elladan's AoE would both proc the Bomber and get that other Mangler's health below 50%. It was a next level play because it resulted in 967,000 points, and his squad is mostly healed up, buffed, and Elrond would have his AoE available to start the next wave. In an embarrassment of riches, the next wave had 2 bombers. The War Guard and 3 healers wasn't perfect, but any wave without Skullcrushers or Drummers is preferable to the alternative. I'm guessing the strategy in the third wave was to try and have the first bomb kill the second bomber before the Shadowseers got a heal off, as we see him use Elrohir's special too on one of the bombers. Unfortunately, one of the Shadowseers got their heal off, and the second bomber hit the Elves. but everyone survived to keep the run alive. The next healer called a reinforcement, and killing that bomber forced the third healer's AI to prioritize calling the reinforcement instead of healing. Had either of those heals gone off, this run may have been over. So there you have it, a 1.5 million score in Chapter 1 with Elves. I know many of you don't have nearly as good of an Elf squad as Fredo does, and most people don't have Rumil geared, but this showcase gives us something we can aspire to. With glyphs, runs like this will become much easier to obtain consistently, but I think it's really awesome to see teams max out difficulty 4 before glyphs. Bravo to Fredo, and a big thank you to him for sharing the footage. I enjoyed making this video, and I hope to do more of these raid breakdowns in the future. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like it, you should click the like button and subscribe. I've also started creating baseball card style infographics for every character in the game. You can find those as well as my free-to-play farming guide for free on my Discord server. Quantum out.